Kristen Mills, and this is my sister.
I'm Mills.
We are students at Elsel Elementary and members of one of the ZooBOTix robotics teams here at KPS. We watched my big brother be on the middle school FTC teams for the last 2 years. We are so excited to be on one of the brand new ZooBOTix LEGO teams this year. We would like to thank Principals Dr. Wilson, Mr. Quinn, and Mr. Hughes for allowing our teams to be connected to their schools, and our volunteer coaches David Wilson, Ryan Mills, Ken Gruel, and Dara Reinbold. Our ZooBOTix teams are part of FIRST Robotics, which stands for Inspiration and Recognition of Science and Technology. FIRST is a robotics community that prepares young people like us for the future. It's not just building robots. We have also learned a lot about the FIRST core values, too. And team members Evan and Oliver will tell you more about those later. FIRST LEGO League explores for kindergartners through third graders. To learn about engineering and try to solve real-world problems by coding LEGO creations with our spike hits. Adeline will now demonstrate one of the things we built and programmed as a part of our team build this year. Cargo Connect theme, a sorting center. Using a photo sensor, our robot can see what color the cargo is. Then we programmed it to put the cargo into the correct box. We even taught it some Spanish. Thank you. Ellen presents.
Verde. Verde. Azul. Azul.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time. Good job. Our next speaker is Olivia Gauthier. I'm sorry, Oliver, I'm sorry. I should put my glasses on. Okay, Oliver Gauthier, my apologies, I'm sorry. And Evan Keene.
You ready?
Thank you, Kirsten and Adeline, and thank you to the board and Dr. Rachadori for allowing us to take this opportunity to share about the LEGO League Challenge for 4th and 5th graders.
I'm Oliver Godier.
Evan Keenan, I'm a 4th grader at King Westwood, and we are on the first LEGO League Challenge 52111. To share a bit more detail about the first core values of our team.
First core values focus on teamwork, sportsmanship, professionalism, and community involvement. You're learning and practicing things like working together, being respectful, and being inclusive.
We are also learning about something called gracious professionalism through our core values.
Cargo Connect. It's about
We're engineering our Lego robot to do things like how to reduce pollution or how to deliver cargo quickly.
For special innovation products, our team decided to find ways to reduce pollution by using electric vehicles.
The model of our electric. This is a model of our electric delivery truck. Vehicle is a solar/wind-powered truck. To reduce air pollution by making it solar/wind.
In closing, we would like to thank Principals Dr. Wilson and Mr. Quinn for allowing our teams to be connected to their schools.
Thank our volunteer coaches Rachel St. John, Lee Podolsky.
And I apologize, Gautier was the correct pronunciation of that last name. Next, our speaker is Lucas McGinnis.
Thank you, Evan and Oliver. I'm Lucas McGinnis, a 7th grader from Hillside Middle School, and I'm on FTC team number 13917. I'd like to share a little bit more about gracious professionalism. To me, gracious professionalism is broken into 2 parts. The first part is gracious, which means to be friendly and kind to our competition. It also means to, when possible, help other teams. We create videos explaining some of our ideas and how to implement them. Having the competition in person this year, we are hoping to talk and share ideas with other teams. The second half of gracious professionalism is professionalism. To me, professionalism means to try your hardest, to always try to improve. In regards to our team, we are always trying to improve our designs, mentoring, recruiting, and outreach. The official season starts in September. When the game is released, our team begins researching different design ideas. We talk through possible solutions and research ideas other groups have had. We use the engineering process to define problems, find solutions, prototype ideas, and evaluate our progress. Based on our results, we refine processes in our robot and try to develop the most efficient design. Last year, we not only qualified for the state competition, but also posted the highest score, winning the Performance Award. Thank you to principals Mr. McKissick, Dr. Bogan, and Mr. McCain for being our school sponsors. We'd also like to thank our coaches Mark Dijksterhouse and Hep Nguyen. Mr. Nguyen has been a champion for our program since he started the FRC ZooBOTix team in 2016 and grew the program with Mr. Dijksterhouse to where it is today. This program would not exist without him. And now I'm going to share a little bit about our robot. So we made this robot last year. We made it mostly from scratch. So some of these parts are from like Rev Robotics or First. So there's like a wobble goal that looked like a giant top basically, and this arm would carry it, and then we'd drop it over a wall or place it in like these zones, like 2 feet by 2 feet foam tile squares. And based on the number of rings for autonomous, we'd put them in the correct zone. And then we had to shoot rings, so we use a little flywheel right here to launch the rings. And then our intake down here, it's like a conveyor system, so it pulls the ring up into our little holder. It's kind of hard to see, but this is where we store the rings. We can store technically 4 at a time, but the rules state we can only hold 3. So, we tried to optimize it so we can shoot as fast as we can, and it looks like I'm out of time, so.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Otto Gustafsson.
Thank you, Lucas. I'm Otto Gustafson, a senior at Kalamazoo Central High School, and I've been on FRC Team 6002 since 2018. Over the last year, ZooBOTix has grown from one high school team and 2 middle school teams to 11 teams spanning from kindergarten through 12th grade. Getting kids involved at the elementary level will help us build a sustainable FIRST program in KPS. One of the big philosophies of FRC and FIRST as a whole is the idea of cooperation, which is an amalgamation of the words cooperation and competition. I interpret cooperation to mean cooperation during competition. In other words, teams shouldn't just compete with each other, they should also help each other whenever possible. My team has always followed this philosophy. During competitions, we like to share our ideas and experiences with other teams. Whenever teams request help, whether it be parts or tools, we are always there to help. My team has also received help from others. If our robot happens to break down, many teams offer their assistance in getting it working again. This year, even though the season doesn't start until January, we've already started meeting to work on a new drive system and research the possible benefits and drawbacks to using it during the season. We also use this time to teach the new members the basics of computer-aided designing and programming so that when the season starts, we can jump right into building the robot. A huge thank you to Coach Nguyen because he introduced me to robotics and engineering. I have discovered what I want to do in college and beyond. I'd also like to thank my parents for letting me join the team and helping me succeed at it.
Thank you.
Bring back to the young people that were here earlier today, I just love the skills that they're developing. And, you know, they call it gracious professionalism, which is wonderful. But the term I kept thinking of as I'm listening to them was the buzzword that I keep hearing about now in the professional world, which is collaborative problem solving, right? Which is exactly what they're learning how to do from a very young age forward. They're learning how to work as a team, to identify challenges, to overcome challenges, to work with each other, to even work with competitors. Those skills are lifelong skills that will enable their future goals. And it is very good and very heartening to hear that they're working and developing these types of things. So I appreciate the teachers and the principals and the advisors and everyone who is just kind of hand-holding these young people through this process. It's just fabulous. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Jackson.
Yes, and I want to briefly ditto Trustee Grayshek on tonight. I really thoroughly enjoyed our young people that were displaying their robotics talents and skills on tonight, and also with the Lego engineers. And I was glad to hear about how this have been a growing event, program rather, that have grown from just high school, middle schools to even our younger elementary age. And that is amazing. And I agree with you 100% about these are skills that are actually desperately needed in a world and society that we live in today, where, competition is brutal. People don't want to help and support one another. And so I think this is kind of getting back to basics.